Hi, this is live from the Hotel Edison. Times Square Chronicles presents, and my guest this week does it all. He acts on Broadway, he sings on Broadway, he dances on Broadway, he does national tours, TV, film, commercials, but not only that, he produces and he invests in shows keeping the industry moving. We are with Clayton Cornelious. So excited.
Hello. Thank you for having me. Hold it? Oh, yeah. Okay, thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. No. I'm really honored to be here.
Can you tell us a little bit about the shows that you've done? I know you did one of my favorite shows, Scottsboro Boys.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You were in Ain't Too Proud.
Yes.
The Lion King.
Yes.
Wonderland, which I actually really like.
Yes. I loved Wonderland.
A chorus line.
A chorus line. I was sort of the cut dancer called Butch, and then I covered 4 of the leads, though. So we were called the Super Swings.
Okay.
And I covered Richie, Don, Paul, and Larry. Yeah, give me the ball. But I was like the first Black Don and the first Black Paul ever on a Broadway stage. So, sort of like history in the making, I suppose. That'd be great.
So how did you get involved in theater?
Back when I was a kid, you know what I mean, in school and doing all of that. And then obviously, my dad was a big business guy and he wanted me to go into business. And when I went to apply for college, I got accepted for business. I got accepted in for music education and also musical theater. But obviously,
You've combined everything.
I have now, but you understand, like, what I picked was musical theater. And then I just kind of figured out the rest later on,
What was the first show that got you into musical theater?
Company.
Who did you want to be in?
Well,
Did you want to be Bobby?
Well, the thing is, we had this little sort of spring, not musical, but like spring little, we called it an opera workshop, but we opened it up to musical theater, and we did Company, and I was Bobby. So I think that performance is the performance that my parents came to see me, and my dad said, "You're funny. And I think you should do comedy." And he's like, you have my blessing to go into musical theater. So, yeah.
That you're funny out of company.
Right. Yeah. Isn't that weird?
That's very weird.
Yeah. I can make anything funny, though.
What was the first show was that the first show you also did?
No, first show I ever did, I was 14 years old, and I was in Little Abner. And I played Speedy McRabbit. Yeah. So that sort of gave me the bug, and I was hooked. So ever since then.
What was your first show on Broadway, and how did you get it, and what did you sing? Do you remember?
Oh my gosh. Well, it was back in 1999 was my first show. I was 21 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was in Cat and the Kings. Do you remember that show? Yeah. Wonderful show from South Africa. Went to London for the won like a lot of Olivier Awards.
Did you get to go with it to London?
No, this was when they left London and came to New York.
Okay.
That's when I auditioned for the show, and I have no idea what I sang.
Really?
I really don't. I just remember doing a lot of monologues.
See, I remember the first song I sang for an audition because my very first Tony Awards that I ever saw, it was very late. I was very young, and I snuck underneath my parents' couch. They had what's known as dance furniture that has all this like space in between, and I watched Leslie Uggams sing from Hallelujah Baby, and I've been singing that song ever since. No, it's crazy the songs I sang from, because I sang from Raisin.
Okay.
Like,
Oh, so you like all the black shows?
I did. Don't Bother Me, I Can't Cope was one of my favorite shows ever.
All right.
So yeah, that and Sondheim. So like I had a mixed up brain.
Well, yeah, you know what? Like, just add that together, you know what I mean?
So when you were doing shows, what kind of shows did you want to do? Did you get the shows that you wanted when you were auditioning for them?
I was trained classically, and I picked up like legit musical theater very easily, I suppose. I always wanted to be in a Sondheim show, and I've always wanted to be in sort of something more legit. When I first came to New York, I was sort of pressed to obviously go in for like the big black role or, or something like that. Everyone wanted me to go in for Lion King. I ended up doing Lion King.
Who'd you play?
I was a cover for Simba, and I ended up doing Simba at some point in the tour. I was in the first national tour of it. And then I ended up going to Broadway with Lion King. So that was a great, entity to be a part of, and a great family. We were all a family.
I have to tell you this story. When I went to see the show, there was this little boy next to me, and the first number happens, and he's like, "Mom, I've seen the movie. Can we go now?" And I was like, "Oh, well, how can that happen?" But that, I know. And but the Scar number and the number with all the hyenas is the best.
Yeah, all of it's good. It's Lion King. It will live forever.
And hey, it is the number one grossing show right now, still to this day.
Yes. I wish we can share some of those grosses to my other shows.
Oh wait, let's talk about what are you producing right now?
Spamalot, currently on Broadway, Spamalot Revival and the Tommy Revival. That's going to open in a few weeks. Yeah.
What makes you choose the shows that you're going to produce?
I try to go for things that I would be represented in, and the culture that I come from, but also I want to produce something that's obviously going to make money commercially. You know what I mean? There's a lot of shows opening and closing so fast right now that it's hard to figure out which one's going to stick and which one's not going to stick. You know what I mean? So, and you want to make your investors money at the end of the day.
Do you feel that right now, because this is how I feel in seeing shows, that they're not necessarily going for the audiences that want to come see the show? I'm seeing a massive disconnect between what's coming on and what people want to see.
Yeah. I think that's the question is who are we marketing to, and what is our target audience right now? We do have kids that are coming up now. We have to cater to them and all of the different fluidity that's happening sexually and how they identify as themselves. And then also we want to market to people who obviously have a little bit more money in their pocket and who want to come see theater. So it's like trying to find that balancing act,
See, but I have a question about this. When we were growing up, nobody catered to our taste. And yet we went to it, we loved it, we fell in love. I sometimes think that catering to somebody's opinions change.
Yeah, but I think it's just telling the story and the voices of today. You know what I mean? And just trying to find what that is. It's all very hard. But everything's changing. Social media, we didn't have that, So everything is just the world is changing, and we have to adapt to it in some way, So
one of the things I make sure I do with my paper is that I do at least, if I can, 2 reviews for the shows that are out, because I think women and men see shows differently, and the other people that review, like I'm straight, they're not. We all see shows differently, so I like giving all those voices out. Do you think that happens in theater?
Of course, everybody has their opinion. Even doing my last show, Ain't Too Proud, one person can come see the show and love it, and another person can come see the show and say, well, I had, this felt weird or that felt weird. And so it's a matter of opinion. Everybody has an opinion, and that's okay.
And hopefully they keep on having opinions, because then there's conversation.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Ain't Too Proud. Okay. So you've done the show, correct?
Yes, I helped create the show. I was part of the original company of Ain't Too Proud. I just feel so lucky to be a part of that family, because I stayed with the show for 7 years. Yeah, so from the very beginning around a table to then closing the Broadway show, and then going on tour in the second year of the tour, and then closing the tour. So 7 years, but I love it.
Wow, I knew that you were in the show. I knew that you did the tour of the show, but I did not know you helped create the show. How was that?
I mean, it was cool to be around a table and help. Like, my track was totally created off of the talents I brought to the table, and that just is a testament to Des McAnuff and Sergio, who are brilliant director and choreographers. So, and then it was my first show that I got to invest in. So it started my whole investing and producing career.
Now, I've heard rumor that there's about to be an Ain't Too Proud tour. Can you talk about that yet?
I wouldn't say it's not Ain't Too Proud tour, but it is based off of the Ain't Too Proud entity. It's going to be a new corporate show that we're starting. Yeah, so it's basically a Broadway song and dance review, Temptations review, Motown review. It's going to be obviously the alumni of the Ain't Too Proud family and all of the creative team and a lot of the creative producers on the show, and Otis Williams, if I may say that yet, is going to be presenting it for us. So just to have his name and his legacy on it, we call it Proud Temptations Legacy, and we're going to continue the legacy of his work through private parties, corporate events, and performing arts events.
I'm so excited about this because I was at the New York Pops on Friday night, and it was all of Motown. But and one of them was one of the people in the. Actually, I think. No, they both were in Motown. Okay. No, I think one was in Ain't Too Proud. Okay. But they were. That music is infectious.
It's timeless. So I'm really excited and proud that this was a thought that I had last year, maybe 6 months ago, and now it's a full-fledged show. And we're going to have, obviously we're going to be releasing more information on the show as the weeks roll on, but we're having a big premiere in May, so I'm really excited about it. So, yeah.
Is the premiere going to be in New York?
Yes, it is.
Is the show going to have, I'm sorry, but you shouldn't. Is the show going to have guest stars come in and perform?
No guest stars, but it's going to have the alumni of our previous Broadway and touring companies. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited. I have to ask you my favorite question to ask singers. If you had to choose a song, or a cycle of songs if one song is not enough, to describe who you are, what would that be?
Holy moly. So you want me to do multiple songs here?
Well, you can. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this question should change constantly because we're constantly evolving. But if you had to choose songs to describe who Clayton Cornelious is, what would they be?
I don't know. I would have to say Duke Ellington. Yeah. I am a fan of Play On. You know the musical. I'm sure she does, honey. She knows everything. And Don't You Know I Care was like, I really hope I get to play that role one day. I think it's Rev. And Lawrence Hamilton, God rest his soul, it was a friend of mine, and I got to meet him. I looked up to him for so many years, but that song resonates to me, and also just all Duke Ellington music resonates with me. So, yeah.
I love Duke Ellington.
Anything complex.
Yes.
I'm a very complex person.
Aren't we all? But that's like a song that you want people to know that you care.
Yeah. It's just melodies that are augmented and just that type of jazz is my thing. So anything like that, you got me.
What haven't you done in your career that you would like to do?
A Sondheim show. Yeah, I would.
That's going to be a little hard right now.
That or like Jason Robert Brown, anything in that world, I totally would love to do.
Did you see The Connector?
No.
Oh, go see The Connector. Okay. Oh my God. Yes, it's at MCC and it's fabulous. Yes, it is. Okay. And it's Jason Robert Brown at hit. It's unique. It's very different.
Songs for New World is one of my faves. Yeah, and Adam Gettle too. Just like all in that world. You know what I mean? That legit musical theater, contemporary musical theater.
You probably like all the same people I do. Pasek and Maltby and Shire, Pasek and Paul.
Come on, we can take it all back. Closer than ever.
Michael John LaCusa.
Yeah. Mary Christine, yeah. And Bill Finn, of course. Yeah, all of it. Yeah.
These are the shows I want to see. And they keep giving me other stuff, and I'm like, no, give me that.
Yeah, we'll work on a revival together.
Oh, my God, I would love that. Yeah. If you could do a Sondheim show, what Sondheim show would you want to do?
Into the Woods.
Ooh, who would you want to play?
Baker. Yeah, that was quick answers.
No, but it's good answers, and I would have said, oh, probably the Prince, so he could play the Wolf.
No, Baker.
Love it. You've done TV, film, and commercials. What is your favorite genre to work in? And if it's multiple genres, what do you like about each one?
I just started throwing myself in full force with TV and film. I have a commercial running right now.
Ooh, which one?
Samsung Street Talk Wireless. Come see it. I'm sure it's.
I will be putting this on my site so people can see it.
Good. It's playing everywhere, but really grateful for that. But I have I just I filmed a live capture. I think we can talk about it. Obviously, it was.
Wait, what's live capture?
Live capture of Jersey Boys. They did a live capture of the theatrical version of it, and Nick Jonas plays Frankie. Yeah, and it has not been released yet, and we're all still waiting. And we're really, whoever is listening to this, please release the movie. Please release it.
Can I just say, part of the fun of doing the show is I get to learn things, but then because people trust me, they tell me things that I get to be the first to announce, and it's thrilling.
Right. So yeah. So hopefully that will be released soon, and I got I got a chance to be a part of it. And they said that we were the dream team. It's all of the former Broadway and touring members of that show as well that they handpicked. So I can't wait to see it.
Is John Lloyd Young in it?
No, because Nick Jonas is playing Frank. Yeah.
Now, on your page, your website, which of course I had to go see, you have so many pictures with so many famous people. Can you tell me the ones that you were the happiest to meet, and who would you like to meet?
You had on your blog, right? Liza. She's amazing. Yeah, I gave her a big hug as you saw the picture. And Goldie Hawn. Goldie Hawn, I swear. I've loved her for years. And soon as I got dressed, when I knew that she came to see the show, actually I was doing Beautiful, the Carole King musical. It's part of the original company of that. And they said, Goldie Hawn is here. I got dressed so fast and bolted up the steps. And I ran into the room and I was like, I love you. And she said, I love you. And she just had her hand on me the whole time, always hugging me. No matter who came into the room, I was like standing right next to her. And I just loved being a part of just being in the room with Goldie Hawn. Yeah.
I actually met her years ago because my father was good friends with George Slatter. Okay. So I met her when she first started on Laugh-In.
Oh, yeah.
So, and she was super, super, super skinny. And her mother had on this big furry fur coat in the middle of summer. Right. And all I could think of was, this is the strangest thing I've ever seen.
I know. You know what? She does some outlandish things sometimes, but we just love her. I love her so much.
I was super young, so. Oh my God, Kate! Yes, absolutely, and Kate's adorable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Okay, so who else?
I don't know.
Who haven't you met that you'd like to meet?
Interesting. Obama and Michelle. We actually were hoping that they would come and see Ain't Too Proud, being that it was like an all-black cast, and it was during his presidency. So we thought, he's going to come and see the show. He didn't come see the show. I know, I'm bummed, but we were just like, we know Obama's going to come and see us. Nothing. So,
Anybody?
Maybe I get to meet him one day.
Anybody else you'd like to meet?
I don't know.
What was it like meeting Katy Perry?
Oh, that was interesting. Her face is like porcelain, and she's like beautiful in person. And that's the funny thing is I really love to meet celebrities just to see how they look in person, And when I did a chorus line with Mario Lopez, he is like porcelain.
He is the nicest guy ever.
Truly, truly, truly the nicest guy. He really is. He really is.
What would you like to produce, and what would you like to see on Broadway?
I would like to produce revivals that we haven't seen yet, like shows that we have to literally take out of a trunk and go, oh, let's revive that. That's a great musical, and integrate it, with POC, just with every culture. Like I would love to do a revival of Little Abner. You know what I mean? Like something that is not necessarily based on any, just something based out of fiction that we can just kind of put everybody in, that kind of thing.
I actually would love to see some of these. I want to see Tavarich.
Okay.
I've been asking New York Theater to do this for years. I want to see Baker Street, based on Sherlock Holmes.
My favorite year. That's another.
Oh, I love my favorite.
Let's do my favorite year.
I want to see, but these are before even those.
Oh, yeah.
I want to see Ben Franklin in Paris. Robert Preston.
No.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, based on Ben Franklin.
Okay. Yeah. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, and I was very lucky because growing up, my mom had all these first reel-to-reels and then albums of shows, and I literally would throw myself in the closet and listen to these shows over and over and over again. I was not a normal kid.
We just heard, like last night, I just sang at 54 Below.
I heard. Tell me about that.
Yeah, it was really great. Patrick Jones, who does another podcast, The Closing, I think it's called The Closing Night, he did a huge segment on the Marquee and all the shows that are cursed and never stay open. And we learned so much. He actually started from the very beginning of the Marquee Theater, how it got built, and basically I guess 1986 is when it was built, and then started from the very first show, which was the longest running musical, was the very first show, and it was for Me and My Girl, 3-year run, and nothing has ever beat the 3-year run in that theater.
And you performed in that theater. Wait, so did you sing the Caterpillar song?
Did. So we kind of went through the years, and we started with, we had an original cast members of is it not My Fair Me and My Girl, who was there and sang from the show. And throughout the years, he sort of went through the shows, and these original members were coming forward. And then we got to Wonderland 2011, and I sang from, Caterpillar, Advice from the Caterpillar from the show. Yeah.
Did he talk about that, how the Marquee got built?
Oh, there's like lawsuits and even something that went to the Supreme Court because people didn't want it to be opened. Yeah, all of that.
I was here in New York for that. As a matter of fact, I was working with Ben Harney and some other people, and they were tearing down Broadway theaters.
Yeah, they were tearing down three, the Gaiety and a couple other ones.
Yeah, they try. I think it's the Mark Hellinger.
Okay.
It's where the Times Square Church is right now, but that was one of the theaters they were trying to turn down. And what happened was that they were trying to tear these theaters down, so they came up with this idea of, we're building the Marquee, let's build a theater into the Marquee. And then everybody was having heart attacks, but all the Broadway actors, we were all fighting for the theaters and to build more.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, well, they said that there was like a lot of sunlight in Schubert Alley, and as it started to be built, the sunlight just kind of went away because it was I don't know how many stories that is, but I'm just shocked that no musical has run past 3 years in that theater.
It's a cavernous theater. It's a hard place to put a show, I think.
Seats, is it, or something like that?
Yeah, but it's not that. It's like the acoustics. It's kind of like not high enough for the acoustics to be like really fabulous.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about that theater, but it scares me. So whenever we heard we were going in there with Wonderland, I was like, we're not going to stay open. So yeah, but I had a blast doing Wonderland, and it was a blast singing last night because I haven't sung that show since then, since it closed. I hadn't sung that show. And so I sang it for the first time that day because I hadn't sung it full out until last night. Yeah, so it was a treat. It really was a treat.
Of all the shows that you've done, which has the best memory, and what is that memory?
Cat and the Kings probably is the best memory because it was my first show, and it meant a lot to me. I became close with everybody in that show and still friends with them in South Africa. They're all back home now. And that was like the best memory because it kind of shaped my manhood and my mind in the Broadway community, you know. I would have to say Ain't Too Proud is another one because it shaped me as a man. Yeah, 7 years and going into the business side of the industry. So, yeah, I'm grateful for those two shows.
What haven't you done that you would like to do, whether it's part of theater or not part of theater?
You know, I want to continue producing. I don't know where that's going to take me. Hopefully, I will make an impact and bring some new, fresh ideas to the industry. And I'm hoping that I'll be able to maybe flourish into the more TV and film as an actor. You know, maybe do a few movies and TV shows. Like I would love to do a TV show right now. So
You actually have a great look for that.
Well, thank you.
No, some people don't, and they want something that's never going to happen because the charisma or the look is not there. But you have that.
Oh, thank you. I actually have I'm waiting for a call actually right now. Yeah, hopefully I'll be on FBI. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny because one of our co-producers, Craig Horsley, he's actually doing some work on Law and Order. Okay. Next week.
Okay, good. Yeah.
So it's all in the criminal land.
Exactly, yeah. I would love to just be a part of anything. Yeah, moving forward, yeah.
And is there anything that I haven't asked you that you would love to talk about or you'd like to let us know?
No, I think you've covered it all. You're just amazing, yeah.
No, people always tell me that. I'm like, no, really, I'm not.
Yes, you are. Everyone is the individual and you have an amazing spirit. Yes, you are. Yes, but you have an amazing spirit. You're welcome.
I am so looking forward. Okay, so right now we can see Tommy.
Yes.
We can see Spamalot because that is still running.
Last couple of weeks, yes.
We can see you in the commercial.
Yes, you can.
We can look for the Ain't Too Proud information.
Yes, I would have to say Proud Temptations Legacy.
Okay, Proud Temptations Legacy. And we can look forward to the Jersey Boys.
Hopefully one day soon. I don't know, at a theater near you.
If there is still theaters.
Exactly.
Movie theaters are vanishing. Have you noticed this?
That's why everything is streaming nowadays. So, yeah, everything's changing.
And you'll be streaming on 16 different podcasts.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we'll see. Well, what I do theater-wise down the future. I kind of want to lay back for a little bit. I exhausted myself on tour. It was a long haul.
Oh, wait. I knew we forgot to talk about something. You played Sammy Davis Jr. in the Rat Pack, the Legacy musical in London?
Rat Pack Live from Vegas. Yeah.
And it was in London.
It was in London, and I was out there for a year. And I ended up doing the international tour of it as well. But that was a treat to be in London and to be wanted by the West End. And, it was an interesting job. I think I could say it now because it's been years, but I actually left that job in the middle of the night. Yes. There was some, there's the actors' equity is very non-existent over there, and they don't treat back then. I mean, this was the early 2000s, 2004, 2005, and let's just say the treatment wasn't very good, and I just kind of got tired of dealing with certain things, and I just said, can we please handle this? Can we please get this remedied? And after a while, it just wasn't remedied, and I said, well, I'm going to pack my bags, and I had my agent send a letter, and I just vanished in the middle of the night and went back to the States.
Well, I have to share something with you. When I was 17, I was in a group called Young Americans, and we got to perform at the Hollywood Palladium in a tribute to Anthony Newley and Leslie Bricusse.
I did a workshop talk with Leslie Brickus. Yeah, before he died. Yeah.
I did this tribute, and we sang backup to Sammy Davis Jr. and to Paul Williams for Candyman, and with Beautiful World from The Roar of the Grease Paint, The Smell of the Crowd. So when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, this is full circle.
Totally. Yeah. I love playing Sammy. I actually get called to do a lot of Sammy stuff. There is a wonderful new musical that's probably coming to fruition soon called, who's the guy who's like, really good show. What's his name?
Ed Sullivan.
Yes. And it was called Sullivan. And it's just all about the iconic people who are on his show. And he has an interesting life and how he got that show started and how he was, really pushing the envelope for a lot of people through the civil rights movement, all of that thing, and it's a really interesting, actually, piece. I really hope it comes, but I ended up playing Sammy, and I started off the show as Sammy, so.
Well, I hope we get to see you come to that, because I would love to see that.
Yeah, actually, that's going to be a really good one, yeah.
Thank you. I would love to thank my guest today, Clayton Cornelious. You can see him in all the places that we've talked about. Look on the T2C website, because we're going to show that commercial, as well as you'll get to see this interview besides listening to it on the podcast. I would love to thank Magda Katz for videoing this and making us sound so good. To Craig J. Horsley for being co-producer. For Ramel Gopez, who makes Live from the Hotel Edison Times Square Chronicles Presents happen. Stay tuned next week, because our guests are the Boy Band Project. Have a great day, and thank you for joining us.